questions about anything that I just discussed? Okay. Again, a subfolder is a non-negotiable for the department, really for the campus. Everybody should have a subfolder. Okay. I don't like being the micromanager, so please, guys, please get your subfolders together. When I come around, all I want to do is say, hey, thank you, great, and keep it moving. I don't want to have to do all that extra.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. And just for a teach back, when are those subfolders due?
Next week on Monday.
On Monday?
You didn't say Monday, you just said next week.
Well, no, I'm gonna issue them out. So let's just say, okay, if I give them out today, no, dog, for real, because it's gonna take time to collect what you need. So, if
Yeah,
I
where's
say
your
a week,
paper? You know?
girl, look, next Wednesday, I'm coming around with subfolders, y'all, to check and see.
But when
So
should
by
my
Friday next week?
I'm sorry,
When
sir.
should my supposed to be complete?
About Tuesday, so Wednesday when I come in there, they're ready. I can just look them, you know.
If you don't physically need to have a folder, you can put it in a manila folder until you get it. I just need something because if you just so happen not to be here, believe it or not, I do not want to call and bother you. But if you have I'm calling if you don't have any work, I'm sorry. I don't want to bother you guys when you're off, because I don't want anybody bothering me when I'm off. But please leave somewhere on your desk until she gets to your folder some work. I bring around some manila folders, something, until she gets them Amazon folders.
They're really cute, y'all.
And I'm gonna get some paper
They're so cute.
Okay,
before the day.
They're so cute.
all right. So today, I wanted to show you how to get to your students and to know them. You know, as retesters, as people, all of that. So I want you to open a new tab in your computer. Please use Google Chrome. Okay, so we're gonna open a new tab. I'm gonna give you about 30 seconds to do that.
Hold on, these all be out real quick.
Okay, and then we're gonna click the house right here. There is a house. The house will take us to my HISD. We're gonna scroll down,
Slow it down.
slow it down. That's it, okay. So we're gonna slow it down and scroll down. We're scrolling down
Okay.
to the A4 dashboard. It is the first link under applications. Everybody see it? That. Okay. And I'm clicking the button.
What was that on again?
On the
Oh,
application.
Okay. Okay.
And mine looks a little bit different, but let me make mine look like this. And when you open it, it finally opens, it should look like this. And then it'll boot up, and you'll see that, correct? Okay, there are a lot of different links and things to press. But for today, I'm only interested in two things. On the left, it says quick linkers. We're gonna click the very first link, it says all my students. Click on that. And when you click it, you'll see all the students that you have. You'll see their ID badge number, their birthday.
I don't have a sign. I don't see the size.
Hold on.
Okay.
I got it.
The quick link.
Oh, change the top.
You might need to scroll all the way down and click teacher dashboard if she's labeled or something. But if she
It
has,
says achievement dashboard. So you
yeah,
want
she needs to
teacher
scroll all the way
dashboard.
down.
Oh, it's already there. Okay. Okay. I just didn't get it. Okay.
Okay, and then you have all my students, and it pulls up, and you have your students, and you have the primary contact number. So this, I think, is a helpful guide because Miss Matthews, I'm using you as an example, you need to call a parent. talk parent and you were like, I forgot how to do it in house. But in house, you gotta press a lot of buttons.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to get there. A4E is right here in your face. And it has all your students, you don't have to go back and forth to
Yeah.
change the students, right?
Which link?
And I think this is, better, because a person like me, I like to call all the parents the first 3 weeks of school, just to say hello. So that's one, that counts as one initial contact. So I'm already a proficient. You know? Okay, so that's the first tool. 1 finger if this was helpful, 3 fingers if you wasted my time or something. Oh, thank you. Okay, so the next tool. We're still on the right, we're still on quick links, but I want you to go down to student star history.
How do we go back there?
You don't go back, you have to go back to the old tab, because every
Click on
time
the
you
old
click on
tab,
something,
at the top.
every time you click on something in A4E, it opens a new
Oh,
tab.
okay.
Go back to the old tab.
So where do we go now?
So your old tab,
The original tab.
Original tab. and the original tab is gonna take you back where you see quick links.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna scroll down till you see student star history.
By section?
Let me click on it. Yes, it shows you their star history from 3 through 8 up until English to US history.
Okay, I have 2 options, student start history, or student start history by section.
Okay, let me go back and look and see.
Right.
Yes, no, student star history period,
Okay.
not by section.
Student start history.
Alright,
Just student start history. No, it's okay. No, it has 2.
Oh,
It had 5 something else, but student start history.
Okay, everybody there?
yeah.
Okay, so you will see every STAR test that that student has taken. Okay, somebody tell me, why is this beneficial?
To see if they grown.
Is something that they're wrong, they got any better? Absolutely.
See if they pass or fail.
See, are they a retest or not?
Because you don't wanna just solely like me right now weeding out with, pre-AP, English 1 student. They may have mastered last year, but I just went through looking at historical data. They cheated. They have no business in pre-AP. They haven't passed gas. All of a sudden, they have mastered on the 8th grade English bar.
Or if they pass, how close were they to pass?
And this is a good way to determine what students you need to do interventions in your class.
No, that's the
You
problem.
still have to do interventions, y'all.
Yes. Now, I know that something I don't like about this format here that they give us is that when I slide over, I can't see the name anymore. Right?
Yeah.
I slide over, I can't see the name anymore. I tried right clicking and it does not allow me to freeze it where I can turn and still see the name. So it's not helpful in that way, but if you look at the top right, you have the option to make it a PDF or Excel spreadsheet. Make it an Excel, yes, Ms. Rogers, go ahead, Ms. Rogers.
Okay, so if I were doing it with this, like you said, I would do to Excel spreadsheet and just delete whatever rows I don't need.
Yes, so you turn it into an Excel spreadsheet and you start deleting the test scores that you don't need.
We don't need math.
You don't need math, you
None
don't
of
need, right, don't need, and really, if I have a 10th grader, I don't need 8th grader. I don't need it. I wanna know if you pass English 1 star. Now, if I'm a 9th grade E1 teacher, then yes, I need the 8. Okay? And then just in case you don't know how to delete,
We're gonna save this, okay? So you can make this up.
if you don't know how to delete, this is the star, the 3 through 8 reading. I click on the E, because I want to delete that column. I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna hit delete. And that column goes.
I'm sorry, can you go back to that?
How to delete the column?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't need this one. This is the, it was 8th grade English math or something. So I don't need to know the date it was administered. I'm gonna right click on the top, the letter column. Right click on the top of the letter column and hit delete.
I missed that.
Okay, well, top,
So you don't need to know,
Oh, you're in something else.
you don't need to know what grade.
I downloaded it as an Excel spreadsheet.
Well, yes, you do.
To delete stuff I
You do,
don't.
because you
Up there in the little corner by the PDF.
Yes.
Does it take a long time for the popcorn?
Let
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay, now, I'm going to go down to the bottom.
Downloaded it?
Right here, yeah. Turn down to there, Excel. Now,
Yes, now it's in Excel, and you don't need all of the tests that it gave you. So what I'm showing you how to do now is just delete the information from it.
okay.
And you go to the pile of,
But I don't
that you don't.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the difference between EOC English 2 and EOC English 2-reading or just English EOC 2-writing?
So I think it's breaking it up by ethnicity.
Yeah, the category. They got it.
Well, it shows one of them obviously didn't do well because it only shows the EOC score, doesn't break down. There's no information.
You know when they get.
So they have 3 times to take it. So maybe they broke it up 3 sections. I just know what I need.
So they don't have that in your program. Not the English too. I don't,
You have to keep swiping over it.
I did.
Yeah,
They go to English right? It's all the way over.
yes.
All the way.
Yeah, you gonna
Gotta
be.
keep
It's all the way over. So we don't.
Yeah, that's 8 percent.
We don't need any, you don't need to know about it.
So I delete all, I got to delete all that
Yeah,
other
you don't
stuff.
need any of that.
I don't want to delete that.
Oh, that's a lie.
Now, I know, oh, that's a lot. Oh, I don't know how to use my computer. Whoa. Okay, so, this is what you press. And be very, very, like, precise about how you do it. Because if you do it, and you do it wrong, you have to undo. So, I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit. But I click the top of that column because I don't need it. I hit control,
And you select.
hold control down.
Right.
Now, don't do it too many times because it's gonna say that you're trying to merge something. Ignore that. But see how I just was able to delete 3 at a time?
Practice you doing what's on your current screen.
Yes. Yes. You can't drag it. If that's, so if you try to drag it, it's not gonna work. But you click the columns that you don't want. We're gonna try to click 6. Let's get spicy. Right click, delete 6 at a time. But they're not good. Okay, so. Okay, yes, to make them smaller. This is not an Excel, is it? But to make them smaller, go there. Okay?
That's what I'm doing, get it printable.
Yes.
So in order to give them over to you, Ms. Maggie, you need to print them?
But just make sure you weed out the people who pass. I don't want the people who didn't
No. So I can just give you this right now. Great, thank you.
pass. With you guys, with you and Ms. Colby, it'll be a little bit different for you. You don't have retesters per se, unless you have some people who have no business being, they take English 1 again, but like the 4th time, I do want to know if they're retested, I'm pretty sure they are. Your students that you will be, honing on in are your students who didn't pass the 8th grade, English, or those will be your House Bill 45.
So for me, you want the ones that pass, because I have some that are with.
No, I want your,
Well, all
retesters.
mine, all of them, except for like, but I have some now that I, that
What they're
that
doing,
pass.
I want your retesters.
Okay, well,
I don't want nobody's passes, I want all retesters.
because I'm like, that's all before, that I didn't see them.
And, question for you, Ms.
Yes.
What if I have a student's name on my list, but their score category is 1?
That ain't, they ain't take no test. Are they from here? Maybe they from California. Maybe they just moved. But if you don't have a test from them, they either didn't show up to take it, we don't have it, they're from a different state,
They don't exist?
they don't exist.
Okay.
And if they don't have a score, you should give that to Ms. Mackey because that means they're gonna take a test in December. They should. Or we need to talk to Ms. Crawford, okay? Can I move on to the next thing? Cause I just wanted to show it to you. Yes, Ms. Mackey. You got a question?
Ms. Washington?
Got a question? No? Okay. So, the next thing. And I hope that was helpful.
All the way till we get to. This is what you. Just being over. Get rid of it.
They teach you, but then, so you can stop here, stop here, start right there.
Stop. Delete them
It's not supposed to be, I need to. We have the first detail. I mean, it's called.
I have a question.
For me,
No. One, two, three, four of them did not meet on English 1, and they're going to get waivers because they did that try it once and don't want to do it again for vision. You still want their name?
Yes, the TA don't care about a waiver, if they are considered a retester, yes. Yes, that's just for TA purposes only, we know at Cashmere they're not gonna retest.
Okay.
The TA don't know that.
Okay.
okay. I also wanna talk about getting to know our students. You need to be aware of who's in your class. It also helps you when you pick text or when you pick text for them to read. Is it relevant? Is it relatable? Are you being inclusive and equitable to all of your students? So if you look at, you probably don't have the document, but here, if you look on the screen, personal content. What do you know about the student? So that's when you look up your demographic. 95% of my students are African American, Hispanic, Latinx, Moroccan, cultural backgrounds. What is the benefit of knowing that about your students? Do you see the benefit in that?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's important to know who you're teaching. You don't want to be giving them unnecessary information, right? Motivation and engagement. What do you know about the student as far as what's motivating
That's
them?
all we got.
You already have a copy.
Yeah.
Seeking and offering help. What are their motivators? What is the ideal learning condition for them? And is it something that you can create? Social and emotional skills. So, what's their peer status and relationships? Do they sit in class? Do they have friends? Are they talking to other people? Are they the type of person to ask for help when they need it? And do they have an executive function? So what I found is that people are born with that. You either have it or you don't.
Do they have what?
An executive function. So are they self-starters? Yeah, do they have the ability to be a boss? Because some people are born with that. It's something that you're born with. Okay? And if you look around your room, do you have students that are that way? And then if you don't, you need to push them from it. So we have to see where they are, identify where they are, and bring them up. And that's what this document does. I also think it's good for your portfolio. If you actually zoom in on one student in particular in each class and do a personal profile on them. Because that one student in that class can give you a consensus of, I don't want to generalize people, but that one kid, if you do a whole bunch of interventions in the mindset of that student, you're helping tons. Because you've been so thorough with that. So, and that would look like this. This thing is making my mind hurt. So, let's zoom in on Miss Jackson's class. The student's name is Enrica. So Enrica, what's her cultural background? Let's say we have Rodney. She has one older sibling in middle school, or he's the oldest of 7. They coming, they ain't keep, they waiting on us. Okay, that's good information to know. So what else do you know about that student? What's their primary method of learning? What motivates that student? And what's their ideal learning condition? So you, instead of now looking at the whole class, you're zooming in and building relationships with them. Okay? So in one day. This is over the course of the week. The same way we're getting to know each other step by step, you will get to know your students that way. It's important to know where they come from. If we have a day where all the teachers are supposed to come out on Saturday and go home, go to people's houses and try to bring back the dropouts, you know, we should try that
The next one.
next month.
Yes, ma'am. Did you say that when it comes to the approaches, meets, and masters, when it comes to the approaches, meets, and masters, should I treat the approaches, even if they may
Approaches is
approach-
really fair.
I know.
But don't send that to me.
Oh, but you don't need it.
No.
But still just monitor those.
Yes,
students
because those are your
they're
bubble
right at the,
students.
yes.
They're bubble students.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as like documentation purposes, for
We're gonna do the
145,
true meets.
They actually passed it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're moving into lesson plan and time use, because I only want to be up here for 30 minutes, and I wanna give you 20. Well, I'm gonna do 20 minutes, and then I'll give you 30 to do what I just did. To 20. Yes, I'm doing my math. So, the first step to creating effective lesson plans. That's what we're doing now. If you scroll down on your PLC agenda, I have questions for myself that I ask myself while I am creating my lesson plans. Okay? If you notice the feedback that I gave you for your lesson plan, these are the same questions. So these are the questions I ask when I'm looking at lesson plans, and these are the questions I ask myself when I'm creating them. When me and Miss Allen, when Miss Allen and I are creating the lesson plans. Yeah, I said it right. First step, open a new tab. Go to Canvas. When I go to Canvas, I need to go to the curriculum guide course. When I get there, of course, I'm going to go secondary. I'm going to go, the reason I'm going through this fast because you should already know. English, District ELA, scroll down, and all of the English classes are here with the plan and documents that you need to plan. You have my pacing calendar, my curriculum map, my scope and sequence, the actual lessons that you can use. I want to pull up the scope and sequence for the TEKS, of course, the standards that I need. The pacing calendar will let me know where I am in that lesson, where I am in the unit. So if you want to use that, you can too. I think you should. I have it pulled up. I also have my band pulled up. So pacing calendar. The pacing calendar tells you how long the unit is and when we're going to move on to the next. The curriculum map. Now, this one is important because when you looked at the suggestions and the critiques that I gave when I was looking at your lesson plans, I said, oh, this TEK is not in unit 1. This TEK is in unit 3. So if I said that to you, and you're the type of person, oh, I need to start on it now, don't feel like you need to start on something right away, because if you look, a lot of people want to use TEK2B. TEK2B, you're going to hit it multiple times. So that TEK you're trying to run to, you're going to hit it constantly. So don't feel rushed to put that in too early. So try to stay, a little bit on pace. And then vertical alignment, the VAM. The VAM is important because it tells us what the kids learned previously and what they're going to be learning the year next, and then what they need to be learning this week. So when I'm creating a lesson, let's say poetry, for this season I'll be using poetry, I need to look and see what they learned last year and what they're going to be learning in 11th grade. So I can kind of support and build prior knowledge and prepare, add a little bit of rigor to prepare them for what they're going to be seeing. Right? So that's the relevance of all of those documents.
Can I ask everybody some insight. Everybody has something to bring to the table.
Outstanding. I'm still back here when you click on that, you click on this, second,
Okay, so we all have those documents pulled up. Am I going too fast? Want me to slow down? Okay. I'm gonna give everybody a little time to get all the documents together. So once you get all those documents together, now you're ready to actually start a lesson plan. What? Exciting stuff. So, once we get the lesson plan, the blank lesson plan open,
Thank you.
we got a lot of tabs to start adding.
I'm sorry, what we going?
We are going to open a blank
Oh, okay.
lesson template.
Okay.
Mine acting weird. I don't know why it's acting so weird. It won't open anymore. But,
We're doing
Do you already have it open?
no, I don't. But I have a lesson plan that I made already. I'll just go file, save a copy. And I'll save it as my new lesson plan. It's gonna be a 9/12.
You know what, you might have opened it up on mine. Remember, because my laptop was open.
Yeah, but it should still open on my screen. Okay, so since Monday is intervention, I'm gonna jump straight into Tuesday, Wednesday. And it's not gonna be 9/12, it'll be 9/13, 9/14.
Ms. Dixon, I have a question. I was prepared to use Freckle on Monday, but we haven't been trained on Freckle. What can I use Monday for my intervention?
So instead of using Freckle for intervention on Monday, Ms. Allen and myself use Kelly Gallagher Article of the Week. And we're gonna reinforce, those informational texts,
All sides.
strategies, all sides.
So pretty much you're saying until I get Freckle trained, I can use whatever intervention I want?
Yes, but if you don't wanna reinvent the wheel, thank you, Ms. Faye, if you don't wanna reinvent the wheel, you can go to the master courses. And in the master courses, they have something called skill builders. I gotta find them. But they created little mini lessons for us to use. And they're when kids are struggling, so I can find it out. Oh, it's called EOC review.
And it's empty.
Oh. It was
there.
That's
You're
it,
in the wrong place.
Okay, whatever.
I think it,
Also
should be with your-
too, what opens on Monday?
3 and 3.
Renaissance. That'll be a perfect time to start.
Oh, it's in resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it does,
It's
it's
in- And digital resources is still accessible too.
digital resources.
Monday as in Monday, Renaissance, BOY.
Yes.
That will be all of my English 1 and English 2 classes, every student. My English 3, and Miss Knight's ESOL class, those classes have to take Renaissance. English 3 and English 4, only your retesters. And how do I know if they're a retester? I'm gonna have to actually get up, tell my students, everybody to go to Renaissance. And you're gonna have to get up to see, because they'll say, oh, miss, I passed the star, I don't have to do that, but it's sitting right there on their computer screen. If it's on their computer, they have to take it, and please have something else in addition for everybody else to do. Only your retesters.
Ms. Rogers, just a reminder, yours will have to take a reading test as well. Do you want us to let this take it in our class or just let?
I'll let them take it in mine.
Okay.
Because if you have
It's just
everybody
gonna
do it,
be-
they'll look at it
And
like,
see, now I'm kind of senior topic.
only retesters.
Now,
Because remember, you have.
last year was the freshman topic, and then senior topic.
Okay,
So for now, I don't have that.
You have to.
so they definitely need to be occupied. Okay, I got you.
I hate to be that person to bring you back, but let's come on back. Let's come on back, because I don't want to have to make so many comments on your lesson plan when I get them on Monday. So now, where I was, I had a blank lesson plan that I was looking at, And for that lesson plan, that's not it. For that lesson plan, now I'm looking for the standard that I want to use. So I'm going to go to my scope and sequence to find the standard that I need in Unit 1. Then I'm using poetry. That's my next lesson. I'm still working on poetry. So my T that I'll be using is 7B. 7B says analyze the effects of metrics, rhyme scheme, types of rhyme, and other conventions of poem across a variety of forms. So I'm going to use that. Control C, because you can copy from here. I'm gonna go back to my lesson, and I'm gonna paste it in. If you go to the POC agenda, I have questions for myself. So these questions are directed for the, it says the week of 9/6, but let's do 9/6. Okay, how does this lesson connect to what was previously taught and what will be taught? I have my last lesson plan pulled up, and that's the lesson plan from 9/6. That 9/6 lesson plan, let me find it. Because you have to have it up in order for this to make sense. Oh, I skipped a week. Sorry,
I was
ignore
about
me.
to say 9/6, that's not,
Oh, that's the one we're turning in.
that's when we turn it in.
Okay, so I said 9/12, it's 9/6, I'm sorry, okay.
So you need to do 8/20.
So yeah, so I'm looking at 8/29 to 9/2. And at 8/29 to 9/2, I apologize, at 8/29 to 9/2, Ms. Allen and myself are still using 7B. We're still looking at connotation and denotation. That's what the kids would have done that week. Now, my next step, which is 9/6, which I wrote 9/12, but 9/6, now, instead of looking at connotation and denotation and figurative language, I'm looking at structure. So I've moved, the kids have broken down the parts of the poem already. They looked at themes, they looked at the meaning of words, they looked at tone and shift. And now we're moving to the way a poem is structured. The way a poem is structured, yes. So based off that, is that connected to what I taught previously? Yes?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yes, thank you. And how will those connections be made explicit in this lesson? So now I have to think about, how am I going to reinforce what they learned last week? Okay, so we're still looking at poetry. I ain't changed to short story, I haven't changed to informational text. I'm still on poetry, so that's a line, right? Not only that, they're going to need to be able to identify figurative language and all words and themes quickly to get the structure of the poem. Because if I use a sonnet, sonnet 18, sonnets in general, they're 14 lines, and the last 2 lines or the last 4 lines are a solution to the problem, right? So by teaching them that, it reinforces theme because you're learning a lesson about life. And it reinforces the lesson that they're doing right now, which is structure. Okay? So that's what you need to be thinking about. Is this lesson aligned to what I did last week? And is it aligned to the standard that I'm using today? Which cluster, standards, or parts thereof are targeted in this lesson? That's when I need to go back to 7B. I'll go back to 7B, and now I'll break it down. And that's where this document comes from. Okay? I take this standard 7B, I look at the knowledge and the skills, so the verbs and the nouns. What do they need to be doing? They'll be analyzing, right? That's all, that's where we are, we're at analyzing. And then the skills, they'll be analyzing metrics, rhyme schemes, end rhyme, slant rhyme. I need to be very, very specific, and poetic forms, okay? And then what will I see in class? So I should be seeing students with different types of poems. I should be seeing students working together. I should be seeing students, what else would I see in my lesson? Y'all know we make my lesson today, so what else would I be seeing my students doing with this standard? I'll see figurative language. What graphic organizer would they be using? TVCAS, would they be dictionary?
Yep.
I'll be seeing them use dictionaries. Would they be highlighters?
Yep.
Would they be talking to me? Would I be walking around? Would you see me modeling? Would you see me actually using behind the structure and circling the end lines.
Yes.
Okay, so you would see all those things, what would you hear? So what do you want your kids saying during that lesson? I would need to see, the teacher has made sentence fields, so the kids can have discussions about the structure of the poem,
And
right?
pushing them to use the academic vocabulary.
Yes.
Correct, yes.
So I would hear them using academic vocabulary, I would see them using the sentence field to stay on target with the discussion.
You would hear them at a group, not like an argument, but sometimes we all get different meanings out of the poem, and you wanna hear those type of conversations, because that means they're really analyzing.
Okay, so that'll let me know they really.
They're really thinking.
And I would, it's,
I'm sorry, cause you just did it. Cause I was gonna say, you'll hear them trying to count the syllables of the words and see if they do conform to the sonnet expectation. And you just did that, you did really, really good.
I would see a lot of stuff. Ultimately, I would know they mastered this T when they could what?
Identify these different types.
Identify
And break it down.
Break it
and
down.
explain it.
and explain it. I would want to see them make the connection between this is a sonnet, and I've discovered the lesson of about life, the theme, using the sonnet structure.
Yeah, so what you know, they know whenever you come over to, what is your objective as a teacher? What is your objective for the class?
That's what we're getting to when we start unpacking it, right? So by unpacking it, now I start to see more of what I want them to get out of the lesson. So now that we know all that, then we can make our student engaged. Okay? So we just said students, we want them to analyze, and for the sake of time, you know, right?
Sonnet, whatever, for these.
Sonnet, using TPCAS, and
Hold on, but I have a question, because the team said, if I remember right, it said various forms, there's a various poetic forms. So they need to see more than just a sonnet, they need to see, various different types of poems and.
Not just the one lesson though.
Right.
Today's lesson is sonnet, tomorrow's lesson may be something else. You don't have to cover every single action in one lesson.
Okay.
Sometimes you can't get through everything the T says in one lesson.
Especially
That T can be broken into two different lessons.
especially one so long.
Yeah, that's big.
And somebody in the room does TP class, remember when you did it?
Yeah, you can't, it does say varies, but it could be various forms throughout the week, not varies just one day.
Yes.
Especially since we just not here.
Yes, and the great thing about 7B, if we go back to our curriculum map, we're going to hit 7B, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes. I need to go to church.
Okay, so now we're back to so we broke it down. We know what to hear, we know what we want to see, we made our objective. Now, what literacy lessons, for literacy lessons, is the complexity of the text appropriate for the standard? So that's when I start picking what, pieces I'll use for this lesson. Sonnet 18, of course, I'm gonna use that one. It's rigorous, it's a sonnet, it meets all the standards and what's within that standard. The Raven is also something I plan on using because Edgar Allan Poe, his use of language is perfect to try to get in lines, alliteration, the way he plays with words.
Annabelle Lee too.
Annabelle Lee, that's the one we started
We
with.
love with the love
Yes.
that was more than love.
And, it's another one, it's a prose. The man uses his wife's hair to choke her and kill her. So we're gothic right now, we're going scary stuff. So,
And what about, because I will not stop for that?
because I would not stop for death, it's perfect, Emily Dickinson.
That's an American horror story.
But the theme for our motorcycle is here.
Things that go bump in the
They
night.
go bump
Gee.
tonight.
So, based off all the stuff me and Ms. Allen just said, is that a line?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Are we just choosing
Some random
text, right? Now, the only thing that I hope and that I hate is that is this equitable? Is it relevant to students? Is it related? And can I find a poem that would better be suited for my demographic?
Yes.
Yes. Well, that's all I'll have to answer.
Because
You can always use music.
So, songs, that's what I was gonna say, you can never go wrong with a piece
So
of
what's
song.
the one, it's a Houston song, my mom playing trick song.
Yes.
They don't go.
Did you say what's the one?
What's that?
That's it.
Yes, Ms. Rogers.
I get tired sometimes, I think, between trying to find it where it's like because knowing the students, this is the beautiful part, this is. But at the end of the day, I'm an exposure teacher,
Yes.
or at least I feel like I am. So it's like, this is good, but they still have to,
Have to prepare
yeah.
for where they go.
Like they could still have to get because Emily Dickinson and that is the, I guess, for me,
The
it,
ego.
right. So it's like, yeah, they get that, but it's like because okay, so I remember when I did the rating with the free AP class, before I moved into the other classes, it was like, okay, how do you get it where, like you said, it kind of starts, not too long, but starts where it's built up to that point, because again, I've done it, and even did the Simpsons version of it, and with the regular one of it. But even like artists that are not like always in there, it's almost like to say, if all I listen to is trap rap, is that all I'm exposed you to is trap rap?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like, I agree with the part where we're trying to get into it to know them, because again, relationship guru, but it's like they still gotta get
What they
the
need to do.
guys
Yeah.
and the collegiate level stuff. They have to.
That's good.
Ooh, I'm loving
Can I
it.
answer that, kinda? I agree, I think you're right, we need to expose them earlier on, and, you know, to what it's gonna be like in context. But a part of high level, low interest is making sure that we meet them at the interest part too. So I guess you could start with that song, make it short, and then, you know, if you're going to drag it the whole week, Tuesday, Wednesday, we do the song, Thursday, Friday, we do the poem or the sonnet that's real hard. You know what I mean? Same thing. But if you, in a perfect world, have like really great kids, then you can do it all in one class period. You know what I mean? And honestly, towards the end of the year, you're gonna work towards doing 45 on something simple and 45 on something that's a little more rigorous.
Yeah.
But I agree, I think you still have to expose them early to what they're gonna see on the test, because we're gonna
At the end
have
of the day.
a snapshot pretty soon,
Yeah, I need to
and we need to know what it's gonna look like.
And we don't know what it's gonna look like. We're using the TEA, benchmarks. So district cannot, create us any assessments for approval from TEA. Because no one knows what the test is gonna look like. But yeah, both, to piggyback on what you guys both said, you both are correct. That's why those conversations need to be had with those students. Like, I know you like to read about blah. Sometimes we're gonna do that, but I'm just letting you know, sometimes we're gonna read about stuff you don't wanna read about. At the end of the day, that's what we're gonna do. But we're gonna do a little bit of both. It's not gonna always be peaches and cream. Sometimes we're gonna have beets and carrots. Like, you have to let them know that. So yeah, as long as you do give them some time to read what they want to read, those choice.
I agree. I usually use my mentor text as the tier 1 on level classic piece, and then when it's their you-do, that's when they get to choose the poem to mimic what I just taught them.
One last thing, you know what word you just said that stands out to me? Choice. You said choose, and another word, choice. I know, just again, in knowing your students and conversations with them, I think especially with me being in the role that I'm in now, it's allowed me to kind of step back and have like the more one-on-ones with them. And I've started asking them the question, or at least I have the last few years, you know, when did you stop enjoying reading? Because at the end of the day, if they don't never pick up
Third
it on
grade.
their own, and that's when it does the test.
Third grade.
It all goes back, but a lot of them, from the ones that I've been exposed to, it's been elementary and middle. It's like, Miss Rogers, and it's like, did you ever? And it's like, the sad part is now is that a lot of them more, it's like, it's stopping early and earlier as far as that enjoyment piece. Of course, we still have kids who, you know, but again, when I have a function library, it's a whole other story. But you know, that come in, that Miss Matthews has sent me a few, and even some other ones like, okay, can we? Is it books? And I'll get the phone and be like, look, please put your name in a book and whatever you need, because it's like if you want to check out a book, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to. So that's the whole nother whatever. But you know, with the whole enjoyment and the I don't have a choice, you have to read this, but you have to answer these questions. You know, it's like that kind of, it's like, you know, it takes, I feel like, the joy out of it. So, choice. That's what stood out to me. You said something.
Okay, yes. Which brings me to the next step. I'm giving them choice, and I have my mentor text, but then I need to read. I need to read all, if I'm gonna give them all of them, I gotta read all of them. And I have to read them and pull out the standard. Is that text aligned to the standard? So I can't give them, I don't know, a rose that grew from concrete, and I'm trying to teach Enron, because I don't remember if that poem rhyme or not. I'm trying to find a poem
It
that
does
don't rhyme.
not.
Okay, so that wouldn't make sense. What other poem don't rhyme? A theme from English Meet. I don't think doesn't rhyme, it's wrong, I don't know. You know, I just can't pull things, is my point, right? Okay, and that's something you have to think about when you're playing. Is the task aligned? I want them to, I can't say that I'm teaching in rhyme and slant rhyme, and then have them, I don't know, go outside and jump rope. Or do a sentence game, the assignment doesn't match. The assignment needs to match the, sentence.
What it is that you're asking?
Yes, is it addressing, is it grade level? Because the standard and the assignment could be the same, it could match, but is it on level as well? Right?
When can we go off grade though? During your intervention time. That's the only time, but when you're up there providing tier 1 instruction, we know little Johnny, not on the 12th grade or 11th grade level, we know he really 5th grade level, but tier 1 instruction, he has to get the tier 1, and when you go into your interventions, that's when you can get Johnny that 5th grade that he needs.
And just to kind of go off what you were saying, wanting to teach your poetry with sonnets, you can have the best of both worlds. I understand what Ms. Rogers is saying. But how do you merge the two so that our black and brown students aren't going to be interested in what Shakespeare says? And there is a TED Talk that I've always used, but this young man from Britain, he does a comparison and he tells the audience, is it Shakespeare or is it Ray? And they listen to certain lyrics.
Shakespeare, I didn't know. Shakespeare.
Some rapper, yeah, it's where they will do, he's having an audience participation where this young man is actually quoting certain passages maybe from Shakespeare, and they'll say, oh yeah, that's rap, but the rhythm of it all is something that the students, and definitely because he's a person of color, I don't know if you can see this, but he is a person of color, and he's quoting from people like Tupac and all of these people, and reading it out to the audience. Is it Shakespeare or is it rap? And it's a wonderful. I was looking for Dagenbites. That's also somebody I was using because you mentioned Annabelle Lee. Dagenbites has this wonderful, at least it had it, I don't see it now, but he had a wonderful, almost like a show of Annabelle Lee. And even back when I was at Sam Houston High School, I showed it to them. I had a bigger screen as well. They were just like, ooh, like it was a fireworks display. They were so impressed with it. And these were students, MS-13, family kids and all. They were into it because once you show somebody good, whatever it may be,
Right.
all color lines are gonna be blurred. Just be on your game, be able to show them what they feel is going to be impressive. And it's not gonna be a matter of, oh, I need to see a black person only, or
Right.
it's just gonna be something that our students are gonna enjoy.
Okay, and I love that you said that because it takes us to the last question. How have I accommodated students and supported special pockets? So when I did Annabelle Lee, there was no visual, we had any visuals. But I need to go back and add the visual.
And
I
I'm
need to
not
go
saying
back
it. I'm not
and
saying it,
they
but-
can see it in motion, you know, because when they actually read the poem and they did the paraphrasing, they didn't understand how creepy it was to the very last stanza. The very last stanza was like, oh, he landed a grave, like next to a dead body. Like that's when they
He's
got
still
it.
hugging
But
her.
imagine them seeing it as it's happening. And then our speds, how are we doing that? Dyslexia, what are we doing for that? It's nice to have different colored paper printed, the poem on different pieces, you know, yellow. I think that's the color we're doing. And GT, where's the rigor? Where's the innovation? And that's it.
Your L's.
L's too.
Yes, how you accommodate them.
Sentence stems, we talked about that.
You gotta have pictures too.
Pictures.
You cannot reach those kids without that. You, not just sentence, you have to physically have something tangible for them to hold and look at, because it's not gonna connect.
Because when we did Annabelle Lee, and it's in criminal lines, it talked about the seraphim, the winged seraphim and seraphim or whatever, and they didn't make the connection that it was an angel until they saw a picture, and they was like, oh, a love in heaven, and it was a whole thing.
And even time period with that, because I remember with the Raven and Annabelle Lee, when I did it with the pre-AP class, that it was the whole conversation of,
The
like you
baby.
said, with the
The
set, when you
baby.
said the set, right, and then even the, what is it, the ones that's on Cyber Castles? Not the.
Gargoyle.
Yes, yeah, so you would think that, so I know with me, we did the whole image thing first, so it was like you said, the scene was already set, they were ready for it before we even got started, it was like, wait a minute, if this looks like this, another thing, so they were already teaching them,
thinking.
right, to wanna go the next step and say, okay, now we're ready for it, and if they know that it was already gonna be off, because we talked about the time period, we looked at we did that like probably 30 minutes of research, looking at not just the vocabulary, defining words, but like actually getting the images for what those meant. So like you said, when you see these big, gray and brown and overly molded things on sides of buildings, it's like, wait a minute, okay, somebody lives there, that's a castle? Wait a minute, I thought castles only look like whatever, and it's like, no, this is this time period, and let's get it. So how are these people, even with somebody marrying, who was it, Poe? Married his cousin and some, and that whole piece. So it's like, yeah, okay, they needed to know that part before we even got to, before we even got to even read it.
Because they didn't know what oh my God, I can't say the word, but whatever is the tune.
The
Yeah,
sepulcher.
yeah.
They didn't know what that was. She said, when I showed them that.
What I say?
Sepulcher.
It was culture.
You said Sephora.
That's- no,
You said
that's
Sephora. You said.
Okay. Well,
That's
that's
still if they ever put the
Well,
gallows in and driving towards the
yeah.
beach, you'd have to
We're
set
gonna
it
have to
up.
go to Jason to see if I'm
So when
right.
they saw that rock,
And they
they started
started
thinking about the tune. They was like, this, he crazy. And I was like, y'all, hold on, 'cause I stopped them at a certain point. So tomorrow, they're gonna get to see the back part that they didn't get to see, and they're gonna put it out here. Girls, so
Good thing they read it on their own. So I ain't embarrassed.
Sep, the SEC sepulcher.
Sepulcher, girl.
That's not what Jay say. I didn't Jay say this a few times.
Sepulcher.
So when you read that poem, you say sepulcher by the sea, it sounds better than that. It don't sound the same.
In this kingdom by the sea. In this kingdom by the sea. And I even asked him, I said, y'all, if this was a STAR question today, if this was a STAR test, it's definitely gonna be a question, hey, in line such and such, the author repeats in the kingdom by the sea. How does that affect the poem? I guarantee you it will be a question. And if you could see their brains turning because they don't pay attention to the repetition that happens in the poem.
Yeah, because if the repetition was taken out, the point wouldn't be what it was.
Right.
Okay. So that is the end of that. Remember your exit ticket, do one of those, and for our English too, we make it look like stuff. And Canvas is a good way to do that because type. Canvas studio, you can type, you can have discussion. When we see you on Friday, this is what we'll be having to be planning. And I'll be here, Miss Allen will be here, and we'll all be here together. So if you don't want to use what's on the canvas as a suggestion for the piece to read, y'all can help each other find something.
Y'all, because I'm gonna tell y'all,